about mythology, teach you about mythology.
Yeah.
We also talk about folklore, legends, and other stories from around the world. People who know nothing about mythology, teach you about mythology.
Yeah.
We also talk about folklore, legends, and other stories from around the world. We are doing something new today. We have a couple of big announcements today. I think we'll save some of them for the end. But first, we now have video.
Yes.
We will be releasing things on my YouTube channel, which will slowly become our YouTube channel, Mythology Breakdown. And there you will be able to see our beautiful faces. That's pretty exciting.
Yep.
So we're going to go back to some Greek roots today. We're going to be talking about a couple more of the gods. We're going to go into some more details. I'm really excited for the ones that I have today.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Tyche and Apollo.
Okay.
And who are you talking about today?
I'm talking about Ares and Hephaestus.
Yes. So I am so excited to get started. Tony, do you have any trigger warnings for your topics today?
Not really. Of course, the regular incest type stuff, because technically Ares and his lover were children of Zeus. But that's about it for me.
Yeah, I don't really have anything today either. We've got some mellow gods today.
Yeah, surprisingly.
And then another trigger warning.
Trigger
warning.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I have a tic disorder. And I'm especially going to warn our video watchers because I do more physical tics than I do vocal tics. So if you're sensitive to tics, I just ask that you please be cautious when you listen, watch, whatever. I don't want to trigger anyone. So I'm going to get us started today with Tyche, and I'm so excited for her. I knew nothing about her.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I knew absolutely nothing. In fact, I thought her name was pronounced Tyche until yesterday when we recorded a special episode that has to do with our announcement later on. When we learned out that it was actually Tyche.
Yeah.
So let's start out. So Tyche, which is spelled Tyche, is also written Tyche as in Tykhe, but it's pronounced Tyche, like the martial arts. Which I found so funny because, the Tykhe spelling sounds like it looks like it should be Tyche.
Right.
I'm just saying. She represented the ups and downs of chance, fate, and fortune. So not only was she the good, so she could give someone extreme fortune, she could also bring someone extremely bad fortune. And in her Roman equivalent, Fortuna, they only see the good side of her. They don't ever focus on the bad side, which is very interesting. It's one of those differences between Greek and Roman that we have yet to talk about too much. Her role in Greek society was she was the explanation for the weird, unexpected events that would happen in people's life. Someone poor randomly gets a bunch of money. That was Tyche getting his back.
Tyche, why?
Did I say Tyche?
No, you said Tyche, but I've bought so many lottery tickets. What the hell, man?
Well, it could also go the other way. An extremely wealthy man could get into a horrible accident and lose all of his money. That would also be Tyche's fault. It's give or take. So okay. I don't think you want to curse Tyche too much. There's actually, and I'll talk about, I mentioned this a little bit later, but did you ever read Aesop's Fables?
No.
No?
Nope.
Oh my gosh, I read them all the time when I was a kid.
I don't read.
But they're kids' stories. They're kids' stories. Okay, well, Aesop's Fables, if you don't know, they're kids' stories that tend to have a moral or a meaning. So, like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. So, the boy cried wolf so many times that the people stopped believing him, and then the wolf did come and get him.
Oh, well, yeah, I knew that.
So that's an example of an Aesop fable.
Okay.
I don't know if that's an actual one, but that's the same kind of idea.
Okay.
But Tyche was actually a really common entity in these fables. So, there was multiple stories of people bragging about their wealth until Tyche punished them for not praising her when they were doing good, and then cursing her when they did bad.
Huh. That's actually kind of cool.
I mean, it's very interesting, and I feel like it also has to do with, like, you know, people's relationship with other godly beings.
Yeah.
You know, they're quick to judge, but not, you know, quick to praise. So it's very interesting, that thought. So Tyche is the daughter of Tethys and Oceanus, who are Titans. And there are also some stories, like the one I'll be telling later, where she is the daughter of Zeus.
Okay.
Yeah, she's another one of Zeus's illegitimate children in some stories.
Yeah.
Her main place of worship was in Athens, but she also had large worship followings in Argos and Thebes.
Okay.
She had many faces and names. So she had many different symbols that would go along with her, and all of them kind of had different meanings behind them.
Right.
The other most common name that we use for Tyche is... What'd you just do?
I turned that off.
Oh.
It's my, my Rick and Morty thing.
It's a little desk ornament, but I didn't realize he had turned it off.
Yeah, I turned it off so you could put your notes up.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry. So then that way you weren't like, open your eyes, Morty.
Okay, yeah, no, this is a lot better. Thank you. I
welcome.
hate not being able to look at you beautiful faces.
You're welcome. Your beautiful faces.
Your beautiful face.
You're the one that did your makeup before.
I did. My lipstick matches my hair today.
Oh my lord.
So, one of her main other name is Eutychia. Or Eutychia?
You teach ya.
Eutychia.
You teaching me and yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I just had a bad tick. So this Eutychia, which I'm gonna go with, that's the pronunciation I'm gonna go with. She's the goddess of prosperity, success, and good fortune. So she was the embodiment of all things good about Tyche.
Okay.
The most common statues of Tyche had wings, a staff, and a crown. And in my notes, I literally wrote, "Damn, girl."
Damn, girl.
Her statues, which, I mean, if Tony can figure out how to put pictures onto this YouTube video, we'll include a picture. But, like,
I'll figure it out.
Her statues are really cool. So a couple of the symbols and what they mean are the wheels, which symboled that she was directing events. You okay?
Yeah, I'm tired. You woke me up. We woke up and we started recording.
So wheels means that she was directing events. The Horn of Plenty, you know what I'm talking about? You know what the Horn of Plenty is?
I think I've heard it before.
So the Horn of Plenty, and we'll go into this more because it actually plays a role in other stories, especially in the story of... Oh, it's one of Heracles' tasks, I believe. It has to do with the Horn of Plenty. But it's like a cornucopia. You know what a cornucopia is?
I know what a cornucopia is.
So a cornucopia, I mean, it has all of this, the Thanksgiving thing with all of the stuff stuffed inside of it.
Oh, I thought the cornucopia was from the Hunger Games.
Oh my gosh,
like that
Tony.
big metal thing in the middle of the arena. I'm playing.
But the Horn of Plenty was like a cornucopia, but you blow into it and anything would come out.
Okay.
So, like, feasts and, you know, water and anything that you needed. It could also produce, like, weapons to defeat monsters and stuff. It's actually used in, and you're gonna think that I'm so childish for this, but Rick Riordan's Heroes of Olympus series, they actually do use a Horn of Plenty. But that meant that she was a giver of abundant prosperity and wealth. So that means that she was being very prosperous at that time.
Right.
A ball signified that unstable fortune was headed their way. So things could either go really good or really bad. Like a ball moves.
Right.
And that's one of the symbols that is not seen in Roman statues and mythology. Because she's only good, so she wouldn't be an either or kind of thing.
Right.
And then the last main one is a blindfold with items in her hand. And that signified risk and uncertainty. And that made me think of, is it Lady Justice? With the blindfold and then the two things in her hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, well, after that weird little cut that we had to do, because I had to go let the dog in, and then Tony triggered a new tic that I'm not going to explain because it's really bad.
Oh, no.
As I was saying, Fortuna actually had a larger presence in Rome than Tyche had in Greece.
Okay.
So it's a kind of a Kronos situation, because Kronos was way bigger in Rome than he was in Greece.
Right.
So this is another one of those instances. In Greece, she was often depicted alongside Nemesis, who I'm super excited to talk about.
Right.
Nemesis' name is pretty much self-explanatory. She is the goddess of retribution.
Oof.
Yeah. They were always close partners across Greece. I mean, good fortune could always be followed by some retribution for that good fortune.
All right.
Yeah. She's sometimes associated with the Virgo constellation. You know, the stars with the...
Yes. No, I know.
I don't know what the Virgo constellation looks like, but she's often depicted.
You know, I'm going to throw up a picture of the Virgo constellation.
There we go.
It's
there
fine.
we go. And she works very closely with the Moirae, or the Fates. So she worked alongside, as people were born, she would work alongside with them and be like, oh, this is how their life is going to play out in this fortunate thing, or this unfortunate thing. So yeah, she had a pretty big role in, you know, the backside of Greek life.
Right.
She wasn't necessarily in the forefront like Zeus, but I mean, I feel like she played a pretty important role.
Yeah, no, that seems like it would be pretty over the top and that kind of stuff as well.
So I decided that I'm going to tell a story.
Oh boy.
And I'm really excited about this story.
Oh lord, it's a long story.
It's just over a page. So this is the legend of Tyche. And this is as told as if she was a daughter of Zeus, not a daughter of Oceanus. And what was that other name that I said?
It's the other one.
Tethys or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Testes.
Also, I lost my ring.
Oh,
I don't know where it is.
Did you put it back on after you took a shower?
Yeah.
We'll find it.
Yeah. It's probably somewhere on the bed.
Okay. Alright, settle in. Get some popcorn. Tyche was born to Zeus and had greatly gained his favor. He brought her to Olympus and commanded everyone to teach her skills. Hermes taught her to run faster than anyone, and she could run faster than any creature, god, or person.
Damn.
Yeah. Demeter taught her crops and fruit, and Tyche could soon recognize every grain with speed and accuracy. She knew every tree, she knew every plant, she knew how to harvest. Like, she became a master of the crops and plants and fields of the world. Zeus did not ask Hera to participate because we all know how Hera is.
Yeah.
And she refused to have any part of Tyche's life, as per usual. When Tyche was 15, Hera banned all illegitimate children from Olympus.
Dang.
So any illegitimate children had to leave Olympus.
Right.
But Zeus was one step ahead because he's one smart cookie sometimes.
Yeah.
He had Tyche protected. She was pampered and protected more than anyone. And so when Hera said this, all legitimate children have to leave, Zeus was like, okay, well, I'm going to take all the ambrosia and the nectar. And ambrosia and nectar, if you don't know, is, it's the food and drink of the gods. It's what gives them their godly powers. Only gods can eat and drink it.
Gods and demigods, right? Or
demigods can have small little bits according to Rick Riordan.
Okay.
But I don't know how it actually pertains to actual mythology and stuff. I guess we'll have to find out through our research.
Yep.
So he planned a plan of trickery, which is exactly how I wrote it down.
Planned a plant of trickery? Or planned a plan of trickery?
Planned a plan of trickery.
Alright.
He made sure that everyone knew that the ambrosia and the nectar was now only going to be available from the first fruit of every tree, and you could only eat that fruit before the sun's first rays hit it. Well, everyone was panicking because ambrosia and nectar is what keeps the gods young, alive, powerful. And so now they're like, well, crap, I'm not fast enough to go get fruit from these trees before the light hits it.
Right.
Tyche was.
Right, because she was faster than any god.
Because she was faster than any god, human, or creature, and she knew all of the trees by heart. So, she brought them to Olympus, and was praised. And this continued for a long time. You know, she was allowed to stay on Olympus because she was giving them their powers. One morning, she didn't show up. She had been trapped by a fisherman.
Oof.
Yes. And, you know, the gods were freaking out because they're like, oh my gosh, how are we going to survive without our ambrosia and our nectar? We need some Tyche. Woo! Ow! I just ran over my foot when I did that.
Nice.
So she was caught by a fisherman on accident. He didn't do it on purpose. He just accidentally reeled her in, although I don't know how. I don't know. I'm not questioning the Greeks.
Was she going to talk to Daddy's Poseidon?
Her Poseidon's not Daddy. Jiminy Christmas. So the gods said that they would give him whatever he wanted in return for Tyche.
Damn.
And so people soon realized, if we kidnap Tyche, the gods will give us whatever we want.
Huh.
So she kept getting trapped, and that's how the people were getting their good fortune.
Okay.
And this scared the bejeebus out of Tyche.
Yeah, I could see why.
So she asked if other gods would teach her more skills, that way she could elude captor. Or elude... Is that what I'm looking for? Is that the word that I'm looking for?
Elude capture?
Yeah.
Captor is
that's what
the person who captures
That's
the
what.
person.
That's where I was thinking.
There we go.
So Artemis taught her how to hide and never be found. Aphrodite taught her disguise. I don't know if it was exactly disguise, but it explained something about the hair and brushing it to the front instead of the back. And I almost feel like, and if you're on the video, you'll be able to see this, like it'd be like a beard situation. And that's what made me think disguise.
Yeah. It's like when Thor from Ragnarok, but when I do this, you can't see. You don't know who I
am. Heaven, who we haven't talked about yet, and is apparently a god. I'm not quite sure. This was just in the story. Heaven taught her. Did you just hear Athena cry?
Yeah.
Our cats are crying. Heaven taught her elusivity. Ares taught her strategy of war, and Dionysus taught her how to use wine and the growth of wine to intoxicate people to get away.
Of course, Dionysus would.
I mean, that's kind of his whole shtick.
Yeah, true.
So with this knowledge, Tyche became, like, incredibly, what's the word? Paranoid?
Well, duh.
And she vowed to never walk the same step twice. So she would never take the same path to avoid seeing any patterns in her behavior.
Weird. Okay.
And it became like her obsession. She became like obsessed with never taking the same step twice. It was really, really weird. And that's the story of Tyche. There was no ending to that story. I don't know why not.
That's a little terrifying.
But yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, and that's Tyche in a nutshell. There's not a ton about her in Greek mythology. I'm sure that we'll be able to find more from her Roman counterpart.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna turn the time over to you. I don't know what you're doing first.
All right. So first off, I'm gonna be talking about Ares, the god of war. So, oh God, this little screen. I'm gonna. There we
Excuse
go.
me.
That makes things so much better. Nice. All right. So there's not a huge, crazy amount of stuff on Ares. Like, he wasn't really known. It's weird. So, okay.
I feel like a lot of people know the name Ares, but I don't really see a lot in stories that I've read.
Actually, in most stories, he's ridiculed and humiliated. There's not a lot of, like, praise and
It's probably why
glory
he's
for him.
portrayed as so angry all the time.
Oh, yeah. So Ares. He is the god of war, one of the 12 Olympian gods, and the son of Zeus and Hera.
Hey, so he's a legitimate child!
He is a legitimate
Yay!
child. In literature,
I think
Ares...
that's the first legitimate child that we've had.
Yeah, that's the first legitimate child that we've talked about, yes. Me too, Chloe.
Our dog's laying on the couch behind us.
She just sighed.
She's done with her shit too.
Right. In literature, Ares represents the violent and physical untamed aspect of war, which is in contrast to Athena, who represents military strategy and generalship as the goddess of intelligence. Which, playing into your story, the intelligence, the hair in the front instead of hair in the back.
No, that was Aphrodite that did the hair in the front.
Oh, Aphrodite did that?
Athena did...
Page flip.
Taught her to hide.
Oh, okay, yeah,
so
intelligence. Yeah, okay. Although Ares embodies the physical aggression necessary for success in war, the Greeks were ambivalent toward him because he was a dangerous, overwhelming force that was insatiable in battle.
Wow.
I'm gonna buy a desk mat. But yeah, no, a lot of the gods were, well, I mean, terrified of him. Just because, he's scary. That's as easy as I can put it. He's a scary dude. Like,
he's a
you
scary
piss him off, he's gonna... Ugh. Sorry, Ares. He is well known as the lover of Aphrodite, who was married to Hephaestus, which I'm going to be talking about today as well. And though Ares plays a limited role in literature, when he does appear in myths, it is typically facing humiliation. For example, one famous story of Ares and Aphrodite exposes them to ridicule by the gods. Wow, I can't speak today. When her husband, Hephaestus, trapped them both naked in a bed using a clever device he had made.
Do you know that
hilarious.
story?
I read into it.
Uh-huh.
It was...
I wish you would have written that story down because it's freaking funny.
It's hilarious.
Did you write down any stories about Ares? Or just facts?
There's not much. I mean... I didn't want to go in and humiliate him more,
Oh, okay. That just sounds like an excuse.
I don't want to get smote? Smitten?
I don't know.
Smited? Ares, please don't smite me. Some facts about Ares. It's actually a lot of facts. Ares was most notably referred to as the god of war, of course. He was the son of Zeus and Hera, both of whom hated him. So Zeus and Hera actually hated Zeus, according to Homer in the Iliad. Ares was most often characterized as a coward in spite of his connection to war. He responded to even the slightest injury with outrage.
So basically, if Ares was a human, he'd be a serial killer.
Yeah. He would literally be...
like a Richard Ramirez type serial killer. Richard Ramirez, I'm sorry, I've been doing a lot of research on him lately. He, would run if anyone, fought back.
Yeah.
He would, run like a little bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Ares.
According to some sources, Ares was described as Aphrodite's lover and was held in contempt by her husband Hephaestus. The affair between them was not a secret amongst the Olympians. So every god knew that Ares and Aphrodite were they were boning. Ares was never...
Sorry, guys.
Ares was never very popular either with men or the other immortals. As a result, his worship in Greece was not substantial or widespread.
Which is so weird, because he's everyone knows, Ares, god of war. Ares, god of war. I mean, there's even video games called God of War.
Oh, yeah.
It's so weird to me that he was just so unknown.
Mm-hmm.
I was even able to find stories on Tyche, who I had never even heard of until, a week ago.
Yeah, no, in Greece he wasn't really big.
It's weird.
It's crazy. He came from Thrace, the home of a fierce people in the northeast of Greece.
Weird. I don't think we've ever heard that place before.
Thrace. I know, it's funky. His bird was the vulture.
Yeah! What the heck?
Tics are coming in clutch today. The Amazons, warrior women, were his daughters. Their mother was a peace-loving nymph named Harmony.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
It makes total sense.
It makes perfect sense.
This is blowing your mind, isn't it?
It is blowing my mind.
Otis and Ephialtes twin giants, imprisoned Ares for a lunar year by binding him with chains of brass. He was eventually rescued by Hermes.
Good guy, Hermes.
Good guy, Hermes. Yeah, but then again, he did fly too close to the sun.
No, that wasn't Hermes.
I know, I'm just playing.
What?
I'm getting my mythologies mixed up. Leave me alone. Ares always took the side of Aphrodite in the Trojan War. He fought for Hector, a Trojan, until a Greek warrior pierced him with a spear that was guided by Athena. He then departed the battlefield in order to complain to Zeus about Athena's violence.
He's a little bitch.
He is literally a little bitch. Harmonia, the goddess of harmony, believe that or not, was the daughter of Ares and Aphrodite. So, technically a legitimate goddess.
No, because Ares is not Aphrodite's husband.
No, well, no, okay.
She would be considered illegitimate.
But she's still a god. Yeah, okay.
No, she's illegitimate.
Okay. Eros, more commonly known as Cupid,
that's the Roman name.
Yes, was also the child of Ares and Aphrodite.
You're a stupid bitch. Please cut that.
Yeah, I'll cut right there. Okay. Tereus, I don't know how to say that name, a son of Ares, was known to have inherited his father's abhorrent qualities. So anger, maliciousness. Ares was the biological father of at least 3 of Heracles' enemies. Cycnus, or Sickness, Lycaon, and Diomedes.
I think it's Lycan.
Lycan? Well, it would make sense. I believe
it's a wolf.
He's a wolf, right?
I believe it's a wolf,
okay. Yeah. Ares had a sister named Eris, who was the goddess of discord. Not the Discord call app. Oh boy. Hebe, another sister of his, was the goddess of youth. So he had a lot of sisters. Ares rarely figures into mythology stories, but when he does, he usually suffers some form of humiliation.
That's so funny to me.
I know. He just gets made fun of all the time. Ares was associated with 2 other war deities, Enyalius and Enyo. Enyo! Ares had many offspring, which is characteristic of nearly all the notable Greek gods. He conceived more mortal children than divine children.
Weird.
Yeah. So he slept with a lot of mortals, and his children...
Crap. Sorry, Chloe.
His children sucked. In art, Ares is generally depicted wearing a spear and a helmet.
He's always depicted as wearing a spear and helmet. I don't think I've ever seen anything where he's not.
Nope. I've always seen him as an angry dude holding a spear and wearing a helmet. Ares' symbols are the spear, helmet, dog, chariot, boar, vulture, and the flaming torch.
Flap!
You're lucky my arm was there. She almost just flopped her head right into the desk. It's
Technically,
good.
I said flap.
Flap.
So.
Flap.
Alright, on that note, why don't we take a break?
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's take a break. It's really hot in here.
It's gotten a little hotter in here since we started recording. So
and we don't have the blackout heater, so it's hot.
Yes, it is.
Alrighty. So,
right.
we'll be right back. We're gonna go get some water.
Yes.
I quit caffeine, so no energy drinks this week.
Yeah, except I'm drinking G Fuel, so I'm content.
That wasn't even paid promotion. That was just free promotion.
That was free promotion. Gfuel.com. I hope I get sponsored. All right.
All right. We'll see you guys after the break, and remember that we have a special announcement at the end of our episode.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll see you soon. Welcome back to Mythology Breakdown!
That was very loud.
You know what, Tony? I'm really excited to finish this recording.
Me too.
Because we're going to go see my parents after this.
Yes.
I'm doing my little dancey dance. We now have all 3 animals in this tiny room. We have 2 cats and a dog. I'm sure you'll see them at some point. She went into the closet.
She's hiding in the closet.
So if you hear any noises in the background, it's probably them. And our video people, you'll probably see them hop up on this cat tree soon. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about Apollo now.
Okay.
We talked about his twin, Artemis. Last time we talked about the Greeks. We went into the whole story with the story with Orion and their birth on the island, and she had to help give birth to her brother Apollo.
Right.
He was like, weirdly popular. So Apollo is the god of the sun, light, music, and prophecy, and his minor traits were poetry, art, oracles, archery, plague, medicine, light, and knowledge. So he had a lot of stuff going for him.
Right.
He is the son of Zeus and Leto, as I already said, because with the whole Artemis story. He is often portrayed as being beardless, athletic, and youthful, which was like the ideal back in Greek times. It was called being a Kyros.
A Kyros.
Couros.
All right.
And that was basically the ideal for men back then, was beardless, young, and handsome.
All right.
He was just ripped.
Cool. I'm not.
That's okay. I don't want you to be.
Okay.
He was a patron of Delphi, or Delphi. Is it Delphi or Delphi?
It's Delphi.
Delphi. He predicts prophecy through the Pythia, or the oracle. So that's like his whole thing, and that's actually the story that I'm going to be telling later, is... We give the dog a raw high bone.
There's the cat.
Oh, there's the cat!
Okay, sorry.
The story that I'm going to be telling later is the story of how the oracle came to be and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah. His knowledge of medicine and healing are also seen in his son Asclepius, who is the god of medicine and healing. So they're often depicted as working side by side.
Huh. Okay.
But Apollo can also bring upon plagues and death to the world.
Right.
Because... I regret my decision.
Also, we totally didn't turn on the heater again, so this is probably going to sound like shit.
You know what? I'll turn on the heater right now. Watch. I'm going
to... we have to have ambient noise in the background, or else it won't sound good. Probably sounds a lot better for our video people without the heater, but you know what? I don't care. Sorry, YouTube.
We are way off topic today. We have lots of energy today.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Maybe because I'm excited to be out of the house finally.
I know. I'm so excited.
Okay. Continue.
Okay, so he is the patron defender of herds and flocks. I don't know why my brain was like...
Did you almost say
herbs?
Oh my god, I thought you almost said
no,
hermes.
like herbs, because I work in a kitchen.
Mm.
I read it as herds and not herds, and my brain had to reboot.
Yeah, wow.
So he's a patron defender of herds and flocks. He's also the leader of the 9 muses, who we will talk about in a later episode, but they are basically all of the forms of art and stuff. So art, poetry, music, all of that, those are all muses. And he is the leader of the muses.
Huh. So a lot of the gods and goddesses were really big into the arts then.
Oh, yeah. Greeks and the arts, it was huge. We're going to be spending a whole episode talking about just the art of the Greeks.
All right.
Yes. Woo! Speaking of Hermes. Hermes created the lyre for Apollo. And... What?
Let's just keep going.
Okay.
She's fine.
And I think it was actually created at his birth, and Apollo caught Hermes doing something, and he was like, well, here, have this lyre instead. And Apollo was like, cool. People would write special hymns for Apollo, and these were called paeans. Paeans? Pines. Paeans? Something. I'm assuming it's supposed to be what poem would be, like, the word that would eventually become poem. Which is why I'm thinking that it's 2 syllables. Why are you petting the cat instead of paying attention to me?
I'm paying attention to you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take center stage. Bye, Tony.
Oh, no.
Bye,
Okay.
Tony.
Goodbye.
Bye, Tony.
Goodbye. Go pet kitty.
So the dolphin, swan, and the wolf were his animals, and the laurel was his tree. The laurel wreath that they would find at the Olympics.
Yeah.
That was Apollo's tree. I am struggling today.
It's okay. We're all on the struggle bus today.
Tony's letting all the animals out. He can't handle this anymore.
I can't deal with it. If the dog opens up the back door, I don't care.
So,
I think I can stay in here.
A later story that I'm sure that we'll talk about when we talk about all of Apollo's lovers. Apollo was bisexual.
So we're like half the Greeks.
No, I know, but like most of them, they don't like talk about the stories behind it. But like one of Apollo's most popular stories is the story of his relationship with Hyacinthus. God damn it.
Hyacinthus.
Yeah, you know the flower, the hyacinth?
Yeah.
That was named for him. Apollo created the hyacinth from the blood of his lover because he was accidentally killed in a discus throwing competition.
Alright.
Because Apollo threw the discus farther than this other dude who wanted whatever. And the Apollo won, and the other dude got mad and chucked a discus at Hyacinthus.
Damn.
So yeah. He had other male lovers as well, but that's the biggest one. His other symbols include the lyre, the python, the raven, bows, and arrows. He's big into archery, just like Artemis is.
Right.
And yeah, those are the facts I have about him. So I'm going to read the story of the python and the Pythia as soon as my laptop will load. Okay. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
The python of Delphi was a creature with the body of a snake. I am reading this directly off of Greek-gods.info. Thank you. So the python of Delphi was a creature with the body of a snake. The python used to dwell on Mount Parnassus in central Greece. Greece. I have a list, but okay?
Okay.
Wherever the python went, it diffused an obnoxious smell and spread mischief and death. This creature sounds atrocious. Python was once sent out by Hera, that makes sense, the wife of Zeus, in order to chase the pregnant Leto, a lover of Zeus, so that she couldn't settle anywhere to give birth. Zeus felt sorrow for Leto and transformed her into a quail in order to give birth to their twin children, Apollo and Artemis.
Right.
Kind of talked about that, although I didn't know that he transformed her into a quail. That was new. So, by the time Apollo was 4 days old, not 4 years, 4 days old, he was like super powerful and strong already. A silver bow and golden. Why can I not talk today?
A silver bow with golden arrows
was given to him by the blacksmith Hephaestus, who's Tony gonna talk. I can't talk today.
Who Tony's gonna talk about.
Yes.
I'll be the translator for today.
Yes, thank you. So this weapon made Apollo decide, I'm gonna go kill this snake that tried to kill my mom. So Apollo went to the creature's cave to seek the python. And after the creature faced Apollo, it started boiling with rage and lunged at Apollo to devour him. But Apollo was faster and managed to throw an arrow to Python, piercing him right on its forehead. Python cried out of terror, and its scream could be heard all over the canyons of Mount Parnassus. It struggled hard to survive, but in the end it surrendered to death. The death of the python filled Apollo with joy, so he happily took his lyre and started playing a song of victory, giving joy to the people around the world. And this was the moment in which Apollo became the god of music.
Dang, okay.
Because remember how I said the lyre was given to him at birth?
Yeah.
I mean, 4 days old, he's already a master of an instrument.
And already killed something at the age of 4.
Standards for our young men.
Yes. If my child, by the age of 4...
No, by the age of 4 days.
4 days, exactly.
Does not defeat a python.
Does not defeat a half
and has not mastered
serpent man.
And has not mastered an instrument. Give him back.
Oh yeah, he's being yeeted.
Okay, so right after he finished this song, Apollo took the creature and buried it under the slopes of Mount Parnassus, where the creature was killed or died.
Right.
On its surface, he built the Oracle of Delphi, the most famous oracle of ancient Greece.
Right.
So, Apollo had to defeat the python in order to build the oracle, which would become the biggest oracle, the most well-known oracle. However, Apollo had committed a crime, and according to the laws of Olympus, he needed to be purified. Therefore, Zeus ordered from Apollo to institute the Pythian Games at Delphi so that athletic and musical competitions could be hosted. Apollo followed the order, and he even took part in the games himself. From then on, the Pythian Games were held every 4 years in Apollo's honor. So basically, the Pythian Games were a precursor to the Olympian Games, so the Olympics.
Dang.
So,
okay.
Like I said, Apollo's pretty big news in the world of Greek mythology.
Right.
I didn't even look up how he was worshipped.
Whoa. Wait, scroll back up. Earn Roblox with Microsoft or Robux.
There was an ad.
I think that was it.
I think that was it.
Damn.
I didn't look up how he was worshipped. Why did I not do that? We did so good about that the last episode. We didn't do that at all this episode. Well, anyway, Apollo was really cool, and we had a cat named Apollo for a really long time, so that name holds a special place in my heart.
Yep.
He's been gone for a year.
And that little thing back there, as you can see, she's just chilling, looking at us.
That's Athena.
That's Athena.
And then the other orange cat that'll probably show up at some point, his name is Perseus.
Mm-hmm.
We like Greek mythology in this house.
A little bit. Whoops.
All right, Tony, I'm going to pass the time on to you.
Okay.
Tell me all about Hephaestus.
So, Hephaestus.
Whose name I thought was pronounced Hephaestus.
Hephaestus.
Until like a year ago.
Okay, so I'm gonna curse really quick. Exactly.
Oh no! Look at the.
I know it got loud. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry, guys.
So, do you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to write Hephaestus over and over and over again?
You should have just written like. Hello, dog. You should have just written a like a shortened version, like.
I'm gonna. No, because then that's like hepatitis.
Only if you go there.
I'm gonna rename Hephaestus the Greek god Hepatitis.
I love you.
It's going to happen. Okay, so Hephaestus was the god of...
I'm sorry.
Our video people can see the anguish and despair in my eyes. Hephaestus was the god of fire, metalworking, stonemasonry, forges, and the art of sculpture.
Lit.
So, like I said...
Arts. More arts.
Arts.
And the school systems want to take it out of our schools.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
The arts have always been so important. I'm sorry, I'm not going to get off on this tangent, but
Yeah.
I could rant for a whole, like, hours
It would
and
be
days
a
about
3-hour-long podcast if you did that, so let's not. He was the son of Zeus and Hera, technically, and married to Aphrodite by Zeus to prevent a war of the gods fighting for her hand. He was also ugly as hell.
Dude, why you gotta be so mean to the gods?
Okay.
Calling Ares a coward, calling Hephaestus ugly, you're gonna get smote.
Smote. Okay, so there is a legitimate reason why I said he was ugly, and that is because he actually was. In one of our previous episodes, we talked about Zeus literally yeeting Hephaestus.
I thought Hera yeeted him off the...
Well, there's different stories. There's Zeus yeeting, and then Hera yeeting him off of Mount Olympus because he was ugly. Yeah.
and lame.
And lame. He was
But
lame.
in a walking way.
Yes.
It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, he walked with a cane. He was a smithing god, making all the weapons for Olympus and acting as a blacksmith for the god. Okay, but that sounds badass, though.
No, I know! Hephaestus is so cool, which is why
Yeah.
I'm so like, ugh, I know that he, like, had a disability, but he was so cool.
Oh, yeah, he was...
It's a symbol for today. Like,
Yeah.
I know that I have tics, but I'm also a badass line cook, and my boys and girls in the kitchen can represent me.
Okay. He actually had his own palace on Mount Olympus, where he had many clever... He had made many clever inventions and automatons of metal to work for him. So he's like the Tony Stark of that era.
Tony Stark was disabled too, because he had the heart thing.
Mm-hmm. Damn, alright. Hephaestus' ugly appearance was the reason Zeus chose him to marry Aphrodite, but despite this, she had many affairs with both gods and men.
But not women.
Not women. Just like in the Ares story, Hephaestus creates a trap for Aphrodite, his wife, and Ares to be trapped in a bed naked and to be ridiculed by the Olympians.
Because Hephaestus was a bad bitch.
Yeah. Hephaestus was no... Never mind. He is similar to Athena in his giving skill and help to mortals. In his case, it was artists. It was believed that Hephaestus taught men the arts alongside Athena. However, he was also considered far inferior to that of the goddess of wisdom. Here's the facts about Hephaestus. Hephaestus was known as the god of fire, like I said before. In some accounts, he was said to be the son of Zeus and Hera. In others, he was the son of Hera alone, conceived in order to get back at Zeus for bringing forth Athena. Which, when...
So he was a revenge baby?
He was a revenge baby.
And they still threw him off of the mountain?
Yes.
Dude, I got some words. I got some words for Hera and Zeus.
Off of the mountain.
I've got some words for Hera and Zeus.
Hephaestus was the only ugly god among perfectly beautiful immortals.
I bet he wasn't ugly.
Hephaestus was born deformed and was cast out of heaven by one or both of his parents when they noticed his imperfections. He was the workman of the immortals. He made their dwellings, weapons, and furniture. So he wasn't just weapons, an arms dealer. In his workshop, Hephaestus had assistants who were made out of gold and who helped him with his work. His forge or workshop was located under a volcano, and the work he did within it caused frequent eruptions.
Fun fact. We're going to go back to the Percy Jackson books for a second.
Okay.
Do you know where Hephaestus' forge is?
No.
It's underneath Mount St. Helens.
Really?
Yes. We're from Washington, so Mount St. Helens and we're right next to Mount St. Helens, so it's a pretty big deal to us.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why I wanted to let you know, because I thought it was pretty cool.
Huh, okay, that's actually kind of cool.
Caitlin, correct me if I'm wrong.
In most accounts, Aphrodite is named as his wife, although she was unfaithful to him with Ares, of course. Theirs was an arranged marriage. Hephaestus was a patron of the arts. Kind of like our Patreon. They will explain later.
Tell me you just spoiled the whole thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was a kind and peace-loving god. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I want him to be my friend.
In art, Hephaestus is usually depicted as bending over an anvil or walking with the assistance of a cane. He was worshipped primarily in Athens, where he had a temple.
How big was Athens?
Athens was pretty big. Hephaestus manufactured the aegis, or shield, that Athena is known for carrying.
Do you know what's on the aegis?
No.
Medusa's head.
Oh, that makes sense. That does make sense. Because wasn't it Athena who got pissed off and...
Athena was the one that cursed Medusa?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. The arrows of Eros, Cupid, were fashioned by Hephaestus as well. I'm sorry. Eros. I'm sorry. Hephaestus was the god of the ceremony when children were officially admitted to the city organization. So that I didn't do a lot of research on, but the city organization sounds like it could be some sort of cult thing.
Where's my pen?
Your pan?
My pan.
Yeah, so
we're going to
write, it's called
City
Organization.
Organization.
So that really intrigues me.
Greece?
Yeah, because, like, why were children admitted to this organization? Me too. According to a story told by both Homer and Hesiod, Hephaestus married Aglaia, one of the three Graces.
That's a really pretty name.
It is.
I really like it.
Did you also know that Hephaestus was brother to the three Graces? That's where my incest comes in. Hephaestus was known for making a gold basket that Europa, the daughter of the king of Sidon, used to gather flowers when she happened upon Zeus in the meadow. Which is a story we'll get into later when we talk about Zeus. Hephaestus crafted the armor that Achilles wore in the Trojan War, the same arms, despite their connection to divinity, that brought about the death to Ajax.
Bum, 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 bum. Wow!
Aphrodite gave Harmonia an extraordinary necklace made by Hephaestus. The piece of jewelry brought disaster to the later generations. Mm-hmm. So basically, don't accept gift from gods, kids. Eryxthonius was the son of Hephaestus. He was half man, half serpent.
Lit!
And his symbols are the hammer, anvil, tongs, and or quail.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he seems like a cool dude. Out of all of the gods we've talked about so far, I want him and Apollo to be my friends.
Oh yeah, him and Apollo seem like dope people to hang out with.
I feel like they would just be like my older brothers.
That you've never had.
Yeah, that I've never had, because I'm the oldest.
Thousands of years old older brothers.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, do you have any stories about Hephaestus?
I do not.
Okay.
Because there's not really a lot out there. I mean, Hephaestus, made traps and stuff for...
I'm sure that
Ares.
he'll play lots of minor roles in all of the stories that we have to tell.
Oh, yeah, probably.
And just a reminder that we're not going to be doing this forever. We're not going to be just focusing on just one god. We eventually will be telling stories. We just want to give you guys a really good background to be able to refer back to. Hephaestus. Who was that guy? Oh, yeah, he was the guy with the forges and the weapon making.
Yeah.
And he was disabled.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's...
Tony, do you want to share our big news? Or do you want me to?
I'm going to share it.
Okay.
Because I'm excited. So, like I said earlier, Hephaestus was the patron of arts. And we have a Patreon.
We do have a Patreon.
We do have a Patreon.
It just went live earlier this week.
Yes. So, we already have one. Thank you. Big shout out to Jenny.
Go Jenny.
Yeah, go Jenny.
Go Jenny.
So
I'm so happy.
We have 4 different tiers. Actually, let me pull it up on my phone really quick while I'm talking about this. But we have 4 different tiers that we're going to be going through, basically. How many cups in a liter? So, like I said, we have... Oh, God. Now I can't find it.
I'm a bird.
We have 4 different things on our Patreon.
Do you want me to get it?
No, I'm going to find it. Because this is now going to bother me if I don't get this. There we go. So, 4 membership levels. We just have your traditional $3 fan. That is for general support for us. That way we can go through and start updating more things. Like right now we're recording on a laptop and a Blue Yeti microphone. In the future, of course, I do want us to have a couple of microphones, an actual desk with desktop abilities.
This is just the tier to show your support. You know, we understand that not everyone's made of money. We certainly are not.
Oh, yeah.
So if you just want to show your support, and I think that there's an option on there to just do a one-time donation as well.
You can have it recurring, or you can have a one-time payment. So if you really liked a certain episode and you're like, I don't really want full benefits, but hey, I like these guys, here's $3, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
We also have a $5 membership level that, of course, is shout out on the air, like Jenny, and bonus episodes. So episodes that we just kind of mess around, have some fun.
Yeah, we just recorded our first bonus episode yesterday.
Yes.
I teased that earlier. That should be out soon. We haven't decided exactly when we're going to post it, but we're going to post it super soon, and it's going to be a pronunciation guide to you, and you can see how badly we screwed up the names for our first 5 episodes, I believe it is. All of the creation stories.
Yeah.
So,
Our next one is a $10 membership level. That one is bonus episodes, a shout out on the air, and behind the scenes content,
which we have already started putting together as well.
Yep,
We've
like
got some stuff.
Blooper
reel, setting up, because we set up video for the first time today. We recorded a little bit trying to get that figured out. I have stuff recorded from when we're researching and talking about things. We've got lots of behind the scenes content waiting to be released.
Yes. And then the crazy one, the $20 one, is bonus episodes, of course, shout out on the air, behind the scenes content, and early access.
Yes.
So if we start getting people, history maniacs is what we named it as, if we start getting people on that Patreon, then we'll start recording earlier in the week, probably on Thursday versus our traditional Sunday, Monday recording.
We'll get you episodes faster. And I think eventually we're also... right now we have a special episode offer. So until,
14 days.
Within the next 14 days, if you subscribe to us, you get to pick the topic for an episode. And if it's plausible and we can work around it, we can record with you.
Yep.
And so we're super interested in that. That's for anyone, for any donation, for any of the next 14 days. And then after the 14 days, I think that will become part of either our $10 or $20 tier.
Yeah.
Probably the 10.
Yeah. 10 and 20.
Yeah, it'll be on both, because anything that you get on the lower ones, you get on the higher ones.
Of course.
So, yeah, but right now let's open for anyone. So, Jenny, if you're hearing this, we haven't reached out to you yet, but we're here for you. Give us a topic.
I'll message you on Patreon, in the next day or two.
Where else can you find us, Tony?
So, we have 3 different places you can find us on. We have Facebook, Mythology Breakdown, the podcast, which is a discussion group where you can come in, kind of chat with us, have some fun.
We try to put special
memes.
Announcements in there as well.
Yeah. And, of course, memes. The second one is our TikTok. We have Mythology Breakdown Pod, I think is what it is.
Yes, it's at Mythology Breakdown Pod.
Mm-hmm.
And there I post updates, behind the scenes. I post some more details. We're trying, eventually, if we get enough followers, I'm going to start going live, and I have lots of books to read from. I have the Iliad that I would love to read to you guys. I just bought the book of Brothers Grimm fairy tales that we're going to start doing mini-sodes on here soon, but I'm going to start reading those aloud. We have lots of stuff coming. We're just trying to build up that content right now.
Oh, yeah.
And lastly, we have an Instagram now.
Yes, so our Instagram is, of course, Mythology Breakdown Pod, or is it podcast?
Mythology Breakdown Pod.
Okay, so it is still Mythology Breakdown Pod. That is...
There will be posting, because I feel like in episodes we've been like, and this is what this looks like, and, we're going to start trying to do that on YouTube.
Yeah.
But... Instagram will be a place where we try and put all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And lastly, as we mentioned at the top of the episode, we are going to be posting on the YouTube channel, a video version of these episodes.
Yes.
So you get to see our beautiful faces and all my beautiful tics. And you can find this on YouTube at Mythology Breakdown. If you're listening to this on YouTube, you can also find an audio-only version on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And we ask that you guys please just rate and review us when you can. We have 3 5-star reviews right now. And I even asked my mom, and she said that it wasn't her. So I just want to say that I'm so, so happy. I'm just so blessed. We're just so blessed to be able to do this. I also want to make a special shout out to a follower that I have on TikTok. Her name is Green Witch Tarot. I believe it's Green Witch Tarot. And she has just been so supportive. Or they, or he. I'm sorry, I'm not sure of your pronouns. But they have been super, super supportive, and I just wanted to give them a special little shout out because it makes me happy every time I see their username pop up in our notifications. I think that's all we got for today.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't forget to send us emails at Mythology Breakdown Podcast.
I believe it's just Mythology Breakdown Pod as
Mythology Breakdown Pod at gmail.com. One day we'll get all of our crap together. Today is not that day.
We almost had it all together. Damn.
So until next week, where we're going to be talking about some more Norse gods, I believe.
Yeah, we can definitely delve into the Norse mythology a little bit more.
I think we're going to be delving into some Norse mythology. Jenny, we'll have your episode up soon. We'll contact you. And yeah, look out for some mini-sodes coming hopefully soon as we start looking into the Brothers Grimm fairy tales and other stories that are told to children and how they have changed over time. Until next time, I've been Cece.
And I've been Tony.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Woo!
Now that is done. Peace out.
Woo!